council meeting.
Ready to roll? Yeah.
I thought this was supposed to be an extinct volcano.
Not extinct, just dormant, as in sleeping. And your volcano might just be waking up.
Mr. Dalton, you're talking about the evacuation of 7,400 people. You don't think that's a little extreme?
All I'm talking about is that you consider alerting the town to the possibility of an evacuation.
What Mr. Dalton here doesn't realize is that if Elliot Blair gets the idea that there's some kind of problem here, he's going to take his $18 million, his 800 jobs, and he's going to evacuate.
Les, 2 people are dead,
This
and
is
we
the
don't
first
know
time in
nothing
40 years
about
that we
Blair
have the
Industries.
opportunity to
Look,
It's been a very long day. Let's try to treat each other nicely. Norman, why don't you pull out the town's emergency evacuation plans? We should at least have a look at them.
I can find them.
It is over there.
Oh, look at this nice little town. Nestle all snug and cozy right against the mountain.
Yeah, just like Pompeii.
Come on, let's unpack her.
The conference room ought to be big enough for you to set up shop in.
Greg, thanks. Listen, do you know where I can find Harry Dalton? I expected to see him here.
Yeah, he's over at the city council chambers. He and the mayor called a meeting.
So when is this mountain likely to blow up?
I wish that predicting volcanic eruptions were an exact science. Unfortunately, we don't have the
perfect. So we put the town on notice, and then nothing happens. People, we're not the only town in this state.
All right, so are we ready to put it to vote?
Well, I don't know if we have enough information. I don't know.
Paul. Everybody, this is my boss, Dr. Paul Dreyfus, Mayor Wando.
Hi, Rachel.
Pleasure indeed. What's going on here?
Well, I've recommended to the council members here that they put this town on alert. They were just about to vote on it.
Harry, can I have a word with you outside?
Sure.
Excuse us.
Who the hell is this?
Harry, I sent you up here to have a look around, not to scare the hell out of the city council.
Yeah, I know, Paul, but 2 people are dead. Recommending an alert seemed the only responsible thing to do.
Well, you know there are dozens of reasons to account for what happened up at those hot springs. Anything from a mild earthquake to a slight seismic shift, and not one of those reasons, not one of them means that the mountain's going to blow up next week, or next month, or the next 100 years.
The whole spirit of the town was on its way up.
Just thinks he can walk in.
All right, hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am sure that Dr. Dalton was only doing what he thought was in your town's best interests. However, I have learned through bitter experience that these decisions are not to be made lightly. Now, back in 1980, I would have bet you $1 million that Mammoth Mountain was about to go up. And we at the USGS began to talk about the possibility of putting that town on alert. Now, thank God, the mountain didn't go up, but the damage had already been done. You see, the word leaked out that the USGS had expressed concern, and so the tourists panicked and they stayed away, and the real estate values plummeted, and the town nearly went bankrupt. Consequently, I'm now a lot more cautious when it comes to even talking about putting a town on alert. Now, folks, understand something. We are going to be camped out here for as long as it takes, with seismometers and tilt meters that are going to measure and monitor every little hiccup that the mountain makes. We'll be bouncing laser beams off it to track any changes in size. We'll be analyzing gas emissions. Hell, we've even got a little robot that's going to take a stroll up there and take the darn thing's temperature. Now, believe me, I'm not trying to make light of your concerns, but I want you to understand that if the time comes to call for an alert, if the time comes, it will be based upon scientific evidence and not upon anyone's opinion.
God's sake, Rachel, this thing should have been handled much more discreetly. This meeting never should have been called.
Harry?
Mr. Blair didn't get wind of this.
Yes, if he did, the economy.
You're making a big mistake, Paul. This is an unstable system, and this town should be on alert.
You need a vacation. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
But we've got to believe somebody.
Well, we got some serious